What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at headliner Ziyech and 91 rated. Just that is pretty much all you got to say. Obviously Ajax had an incredible Champions League match against Juventus. Now they're into the semi-finals of the Champions League, and I think it's either the first time in history or first time in a very long while. And in general, they just had a game and a half. So you can imagine half of the team is practically in this team of the knockout stage. We have got a few of them here, and Ziyech did get a 90 rated. What did he get? He got a right mid, but he does have a headliner, so obviously that does go up as well, just as like Son did, and I think there's one of the Sane did as well. So obviously we went for the 91 as that makes more sense. The 90 version is 70k at the minute on the Xbox, but the headliner is 108k on the Xbox, 120 on the PlayStation. So really nice price for a 91. You can't really complain. So we're going to go into the basic information. We'll then look at his attributes and what chem styles, and then we'll look at what's good, what is bad. So if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe, and if you do like this video by any chance, smash that like button for me. So 4-star skill moves, 2-star weak foot. The weak foot is a huge issue for me, and that is the biggest problem. And as you can see, well, with that team, I played with 3 Ajax players up front for the team of the knockout stage. You got Tadic, you got David Neres, and then you've got Ziyech on the right mid. All of them left-footed. All of them do not have a very good weak foot. So that can be an issue, and obviously I realised this after I got them all, so I was like, I'm going to have to play with them anyway. I just had to keep switching them onto their proper foot in mid-game. So one game I put Ziyech there, then I'd change it round, so Tadic is there, and then so forth. We kept moving it. So left-footed, all of them. That is something I'm not used to. Obviously a lot of left-footeds aren't really all in that same team. You've got Messi, and you've got a few others that obviously have a sweet left foot, but that is all these cards have. 2-star weak foot isn't great. 5'11", and he has got a high attacking and defensive work rate, which is not an issue with custom tactics, but if it is, he has 98 stamina as well. So he is running all game long, which is always fantastic. This card overall has some very nice stats in general. Only 2 of them are 91 or above, but he does have 86 pace and 88 shooting that can be increased with a hunter. So we'll look at that. But first, 95 vision, 90 crossing, 93 short pass with 94 long pass, 97 curve, 91 reactions as ball control, 93 dribbling, 98 stamina, 96 shot power, 90 positioning, as well as long shots, and 92 volleys. All of them stats are 90 or above. That is incredible. Very nice overall stat on this card. And obviously with a hunter, that can just increase even more. So if you was to put a hunter, he'd put 95 pace onto him and 91 shooting. For me, that is definitely my favourite chem style for him. And I think I actually picked him up with a hunter on him. So that was obviously well good luck as well. So it meant that I could sell him a little bit higher as well, because obviously that adds a little bit of value to him. So in general, Hunter is definitely the one. I think there's nothing else that you want to put on him. His dribbling is fantastic. The only thing that lets him down is his balance, and that can be not really much of an issue for a lot of people. I don't really see masses of difference. And then obviously his passing is already top class anyway. So what is good, what is bad about him? Personally, I think the weak foot is the biggest letdown of this card. He's got a really nice dribble, really quick, really good on the ball, but that weak foot limits him to what he can actually do. You literally do not want to shoot with his right foot or do anything with his right foot, because it's just so... It's not consistent enough for me. His left foot sweep has some good finesses, has some good driven shots, can cross the ball quite nicely. So if you was to possibly switch him over to the left mid, that could work really well. Personally, I'd like to see him as kind of more of a cam role than anything. I think he definitely suits that quite well with his 5'11". Obviously, he doesn't really need too much of a weak foot with that, because obviously he's not really shooting as much, mainly assisting. But he has that option to give you that rocket from far out with his left foot. So for me, I'd probably go with cam roll or potentially left forward, just because if he's got a left foot, it means that he's having to cut in every single time, and that can be read very easily. Obviously, you do it 2 times, more than likely he's going to be then basically anticipating where you're going to go. So that's the bad point about that weak foot. I think everything else, strength-wise, isn't fantastic. Does get knocked off quite a bit, but if you play that passing game, you can get around that. That's quite easy to kind of maneuver around. And apart from that, I'd probably say they're the only things that I didn't like about this card. Obviously, clinicalness for his striking isn't entirely top class, but obviously this card is a right mid rather than a striker, so I can kind of let that a little bit slide. Pace, obviously, with the Hunter is quite nice. Dribbling is really nice. Passing's his best element of this card. Really nice passer of the ball and very comfortable on the ball. I noticed that out of the three of them, he was probably the most comfortable and probably the most effective in-game, but obviously he is that little bit higher rating with his 91 headliner. So overall rating, I'm giving him an 8.5 out of 10. I think his team of the season definitely will go up considerably, so that's something I can't wait for. I think Ajax are going to pretty much have the whole team of the season almost. I can't see many other teams getting into it, to be honest, so it'll be very interesting to see, and this card's got to be at least a 94. If he's got a 91 headliner already, I can see a 94, 95 coming along, which more than likely will probably only be 200k, as obviously he's in an off league, so we'll definitely try that out soon. So team of the season will be coming soon, so if you want to subscribe, make sure you do now. We're going to be covering absolutely everything, and if you would, make sure you like this video, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.